Hello, everyone. I am presenting the topic about coral farming. This is to bring awareness and bring knowledge about the coral reef marine life. Has anyone done deep sea diving to see the underwater world and be fascinated by the colors, shapes, and overall life there is under the sea? Let me tell you one thing, there are so many things we don't know about the ocean. What we know about marine life is just the superficial knowledge of humans as a mutual living thing. I am particularly focusing on the coral reef life cycle, its purpose, and importance. There are many things that are currently affecting their viability that could bring the threats of becoming extinct, and our ocean could no longer sustain itself. There are people and groups of organizations that are raising awareness and continue to cultivate the coral colonies. The discussion about coral farming or aquaculture has gained great traction in the last 10 years and is reaching more people to learn and study their life cycle and ecosystem. We want to discuss the importance of education on marine life and its role in the greater ocean. Why do we need coral reefs? The survival of our ocean depends on a healthy coral reef. They are home to a quarter of the ocean's marine life. They generate clean air and help protect vulnerable coastlines from erosion, flooding, and storms. Coral reefs are highly productive marine ecosystems that serve as a home to a great diversity of marine flora and fauna. Coral reefs are extremely valuable and beneficial in terms of the ecosystem services they provide, like coastal protection, food security, nutrient cycling, and carbon fixation. The coral reef ecosystems are referred to as the rainforest of the sea and are widely known for their high biological diversity. Coral aquaculture is the cultivation of corals for commercial purposes or coral reef restoration. Coral reef farming involves extracting a part of a colony and growing them in a nursery. Small corals are propagated and then replanted on the reef, usually in a damaged area. Primary reason for coral farming on this day is for conservation. Coral reefs protect the coastline from erosion and storm damage. They are essential foundation species that increase biodiversity in the area by providing habitat for almost a quarter of saltwater fish species. These include the majority of all fish captured for human consumption. Even though reefs only cover less than 1% of the ocean's surface, the principal goal is to help the listeners to know more about coral farming and conservation, as well as preservation being the main reason for this. One of the biggest considered threats to coral reef is climate change, and it is highly affecting the coral reef ecosystem. This image shows the equation of climate change impact as it changes the chemistry of the ocean. How can we help, you may ask? One thing is driving less leads to lower gas emissions. We can use less water. We can recycle. And we can volunteer for beach and waterways cleanup. These are a few examples on how you can help preserve the coral reefs. Why should we care about the marine ecosystem, especially the coral reefs? What good will it do if we learn how to care and protect them? Will this benefit my daily lifestyles? The answer to all this question is yes. we should look into how we can help the ocean's marine system and learn how to coexist with other living things. Because, like humans, they also breathe, grow, and die. And most importantly, they provide life and protection to other underwater species. But when do we start recognizing their importance? We can't wait until it's too late to take action. It is imperative that we recognize their beneficial connections to the environment and human life. I personally owned a freshwater aquarium for almost 10 years until I recently got involved with reef keeping. So I converted my 60-gallon aquarium into a reef tank and started reading and learning everything I could about reef keeping. I have met a lot of amazing people who are very passionate about the hobby and willing to provide knowledge. But they are also actively involved in educating people about the current coral events in most online forums and social media pages. AIMS is an Australian Institute of Marine Science is a world leader in marine research that conducts study and monitoring of coral reefs conditions. They document and tally the factors that are greatly affecting the coral reefs and find a way to mitigate the coral die offs, but also monitoring the growth of the healthy coral colony. ABC News is an Australian broadcasting corporation that recently published an article presenting the Great Barrier Reef Foundation's effort to learn about the coral life cycle, starting from spawning and the environment it needs to sustain its viability. The Public Library of Science, or PLOS, is a nonprofit, open access publishers of journals in science, technology, and medicine and other scientific literature. They featured a journal about optimization of coral farming, where they study the growth time, sizing, resilient species, and favorable locations for coral reefs, aiming for maximum proportional survival of corals to use in replanting damaged areas. With all the provided information from the sources given, they all have one main goal, and this is to protect and preserve the marine environment, directing their focus on coral cultivation and finding the balance in the environment for proven sustainability, discussion about restoration, and facilitating the process of coral gardening. Take the awareness to a much higher level and stay informed about current events as well as factors affecting the marine reefs. Collaborate with organizations, scientists, and researchers to learn more about cultivation, restoration, and maintaining the reef system. As an advocate for a green environment, the marine ecosystem is one of the subjects that interest me. So, watching the current trends in reef health, works of scientists to protect and preserve, is one thing we look forward to. One way to provide support in our marine community is to bring awareness by educating peers and informing them about the beneficial effect of marine life to humans. Coral farming and its vital role in preserving the marine ecosystem goes hand in hand with living humans as it provides ecological life cycle protection, food, and socioeconomic value. Understanding the life cycle of coral marine system and how their presence can benefit human life. Be an advocate and actively support the studies being done towards preserving the corals. You can do this by simply picking up an obvious litter on a walk to the beach or coastal lines. Spread the word about how coral works and its connection to other sea life. Be prepared to educate peers once they show interest in learning about it, and provide support if one is interested in becoming more knowledgeable and involved in the purpose of saving the reef. And these are the works cited where I was able to get all my information, and they are very helpful in my research. Thank you.